say whatever it is, whatever you need to hear, read, understand, whatever resources you need, let us know what it is, because you don't want to get into a place where you get out there, and when you get out there, it's going to be worse. Mm-hmm. People are not doing the things that they were doing before you got in there. People are lacing stuff. And you might get that one time that you try this one thing and think, I just need to get this one hit, and that will be your last hit. And that's not what we want. We can't do that. We have to make some other choices and decisions so that we can go 180. We've got to change. And it's not, sometimes it's one breath at a time, right? Sometimes it's an inhale and an exhale. I'm not saying it's going to happen all at one time, but whatever it is, we need to get to that place where we say, I'm not going backwards. Mm-hmm. How many of you, that is your declaration? I don't care what happens. And I know how many of you are afraid that you are going to relapse. Just be honest. Welcome to Going 180. I am Dr. Deborah Wilson, your host, and I am so excited to be here with Rachel. Exactly. And we're here and we're going to talk about her journey to Going 180, her journey to change. And she's still in the middle of the change, because our season for this particular episode is Talk to Me Here. That means talk to me right where I am as I'm in my process, as I'm in my journey, as my trajectory is changing. That's why I want you to hear me now. And so welcome, Rachel, and we're getting ready to get started. Okay. So first of all, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this. We were in the pod together. You were a part of Kingdom Boot Camp, and that's how we met. And did Kingdom Boot Camp help you? Let's start with that.
Yes.
Okay. How did Kingdom Boot Camp help you?
Just realizing that different ways to get through life and different ways to look at the different views of things, and to realize what's good and bad for you, and kind of get back into a normal way of living again.
And how long have you been incarcerated?
Since January of this year.
And you don't have much longer? Oh, okay. And you have a child?
Yes, my son, he's 9.
Okay. And he can't wait to see mom again. So we talk about change, and we talk about your changes. What kind of changes? If you could just give me one change that you know you're going to make since you've been in here or over the course of your life, what is one change that you know you need to make? I mean, we all need to make changes, right? Yeah. So is it a thought process? Is it, do you suffer with an addiction? Okay. And what addiction is that?
I like heroin, fentanyl, meth.
Okay. And so that's a change that we need to make.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And when did you remember you first being introduced to or using any of those drugs? Because fentanyl is rather new.
Yeah.
Meth is too. So,
I started using heroin and meth when I was around 13 years old.
13 years old? How old are you now?
We'll be 27 in January.
And how were you introduced to it?
Just around people that I hung around with.
Wow. In junior high school?
Yeah, I stopped going to school when I was in 7th grade. I started doing homeschool.
Okay.
Because I am blind in my left eye pretty much. So it's really hard for me to read and do school. So being in independent studies, I was able to achieve higher grades, and I was able to do it better
and quicker.
Yeah. So I started doing that, and then I was going to learn for life in Marina, and I had a wonderful teacher. She was awesome, and she went on maternity leave, and then I got this horrible teacher. I hated him, and then I ended up dropping out of school, and then I didn't go back. And then I actually last week graduated high school.
Come on, girl. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. That's an accomplishment.
Yes.
When you were being raised, were you raised by your parents? Was
Yes.
it both parents?
My mom was always there. My dad was in jail
Okay.
and programs. He suffers with addiction, drinking.
Okay. Okay. And how about your mom?
My mom, she's straight edge, she goes to work every day, comes home, takes care of everything.
Okay. Okay. So were you close to both of your parents?
My mom, yeah, my dad, we have our difficulties a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We do not get along. I'm scared about going home because of
The relationship.
our relationship, yeah.
Is it still tumultuous? Is it still hard to get along with him?
We don't really talk that much. When I talk to my son and I mainly talk to my mom, he'll pop in and say hi here and there, but I don't really talk to him that much.
Do you think that part of your addiction is because of your relationship with him or the lack thereof?
I don't want to blame it on him,
Gotcha.
but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was hard. Like, I was a daddy's girl when I was little, you know.
Okay.
And when he would leave, it was hard for me.
When you say leave?
When he would go to jail, I was with him like all the time. When he was home, I had a chair in the garage, and that was my chair. I sat with him all night long, all day long. And when he would leave and, he would go to jail or go to program, it was hard. Like, I would feel like it would take a toll.
Do you feel abandoned?
Yeah, it was hard, like seeing my mom go through it all. And I have sisters, but they're all older.
Okay.
I'm the youngest. I'm 6.
You're the youngest of 6,
Mm,
and you all share the same mother and father?
no, my mom has 2, and the rest are from my dad.
Okay. Are you close to any of them?
Right now, one of them. I talked to one of them.
And do any of them use?
2 of them, yeah. Well, they used to. They haven't. They've been clean for some time now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So growing up, when would you say that your dad started going in and out of incarceration or programs?
As long as I can remember.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I remember when visiting was where we had our event the other day where we would.
I remember.
Yeah, that's me and my mom would go visit him there.
Mm-hmm. I remember that. Going staying in place of visiting hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so you would visit him there.
Mm-hmm.
And was that most of your childhood?
Mm-hmm.
Now he's out of jail now, out of the program?
Mm-hmm. He's at home with my mom and my son.
Mm-hmm.
My mom said that he's changed a lot, and I do see he's there for my son. And my mom says he picks him up from school and takes him to school every day and makes sure he has breakfast. And he's changed a lot. Since I've had my son, that's his first grandson. So he's changed a lot for him. I can see that a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what scares you then about going home?
Mainly our relationship, because it's just never been, we've never been able to see eye to eye. My mom says because we're so much alike. She says we're way too much alike, and we just bump heads a lot.
You bump heads, but you love him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So what happened to your left eye? How come you're blind?
I have amblyopia. It's something I've had since I was in kindergarten. I had to like patch my right eye in school, and my vision came back at one point. When I stopped patching, it went away. So I was just, that's like normal to me.
That's all you've always been that way. That's all you ever know.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no correction for it. There's no surgery for it.
Mm-mm.
You had something else happen to you, some kind of surgery, didn't you?
I had brain surgery in 2018.
What happened?
It's called intracranial hypertension, a pseudotumor.
Mm-hmm.
And it was where I had high spinal fluid pressure in my brain, and it was acting as if I had like a tumor, and it was making me go blind. And they said if I didn't have surgery within 2 years, I'd be blind. So they put a shunt in my head, and it drains like the fluid constantly.
And it's still there?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And how often do you have to get this drained?
It drains all the time. It's like programmed to where it does it like constantly. They actually took me to the doctor like a week ago to get it checked because I haven't had it checked since I had the surgery.
Oh, wow.
And I was getting really bad like headaches and migraines
Yeah.
again.
Mhm.
So I was concerned that I wasn't because it could get like clogged or doesn't work.
Mhm.
So I was concerned it wasn't working,
Mhm.
but they said it was fine.
Okay, so you just had headaches, they don't really know what they're.
Yeah, that was like one of the big signs that I had like really bad headaches and migraines. And so yeah, but they said it's working fine. So.
Okay, well, praise God.
Mhm.
So you're doing better now?
Mhm.
Okay. And so during your childhood, you went to homeschool and you started going to school in junior high.
Mhm.
And so when did you have your son?
I had him when I was 17.
You were 17?
Mhm.
But you started using heroin and fentanyl and meth when you were 13?
Mhm. Well, I started using heroin and heroin and meth when I was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
Fentanyl within the last like 3 years.
So how did that impact your pregnancy?
I was clean. When I had my son, I was clean
Mhm.
until I had my surgery. And when I had my surgery is when I started using again.
Do you think, was it for pain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So was it you had pain medication and it wasn't working or you?
Mm-hmm. And then the doctor, he wasn't seeing me and he was all the way in San Francisco. And then they transferred me to Stanford. And it was just like a big mess. That was like a traumatic experience. I don't like ever want to go to the doctor again. So I just started using again and I fell into my addiction again.
Mm-hmm. So what started your addiction? You said just hanging out with the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, did you ever start with drinking or smoking weed?
I would drink, yeah. But
I mean, what started you at 13? What would start you with heroin? You didn't start. No, I'm trying to be funny, but it's like, okay, let me forget the marijuana. Let me just go straight to heroin. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but I mean,
no, I know.
I mean,
People think it's crazy, but yeah, I would drink. I used to be actually a really big drinker when I was younger. And then I just went to using heroin.
You never smoked weed?
I did, but I wasn't really like a big pothead when I was younger.
So I'm a little ignorant when it comes to certain drugs. So the only thing I know about heroin is tracks and traces in your arm. How did you?
I was not an IV user.
Okay, so how did you get the heroin into your system?
I would smoke.
You can smoke heroin?
Yeah.
Is it like crack?
You smoke on foil.
How? I'm just asking.
You just.
I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
You just put it on foil and you just like take a straw and you light it and you smoke it.
So it's smoking. You're not snorting it.
No, you can.
But you smoked it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worse taking it in that way? Is it worse? Is it safer taking it in that way as opposed to using it through the IV?
Yes.
Okay. And you've never done IV?
No, I'm terrified of needles.
Okay. So you smoke it?
Mm-hmm.
And what did that do for you? This is before your surgery, so you're 13.
Yeah. I guess it just like took me away from everything. I don't know.
So what was everything at that time? At 13, what was everything?
My dad.
Okay. Was there anything else going on with your dad besides him going in and out of jail and programs?
Not that I can remember.
That really upset you though.
Mm-hmm. What I remember is mainly like my dad being gone and in and out in trouble all the time. Him being gone.
And that bothered you that much.
Mm-hmm.
And then watching your mom go through the changes that she went through.
Mm-hmm.
So
and her struggling by herself, trying to keep up with everything, being stressed out about me, getting home from school. You know, who was going to pick me up, or who was going to watch me after, or if I had to leave work early, or take me to work after. I spent a lot of my time after school at work with my mom.
Were you worried about your mom?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Did you feel that the pressure of having to worry about your mother and somehow provide emotional support was overwhelming?
Of course.
And like stressful?
Mm-hmm.
And so did you think that maybe you used the drugs to relieve some of that pressure?
Probably.
To escape?
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like you might have started using it recreationally, right? Yeah. So then the recreation turned into something different. Where did meth come in?
I think the same. I don't know. It's all around the same time.
So you were doing heroin and meth? Girl, you're lucky to be alive, huh?
And I've been very fortunate to never like overdose or
You think?
anything like that. Yeah.
Rachel. So when you were doing meth, how did you ingest that?
Smoke.
Good Lord. So did you mix the meth and the...
No.
So they're two different things? And you're still sitting here in your right mind looking at me.
Yeah.
Girl,
I'm very fortunate to not move my mind. It's
listen.
very sad because I see a lot of people that I know that come to jail and they're not the same anymore because of using drugs. And it's like a huge blessing. It makes me never want to use drugs again and like never want to be like that ever again because I'm like, oh my God, these people are most likely never going to be the same.
My God. But God spared your life. So a couple of weeks ago, there was a service there, and I know people come to the Lord, and I told you all when I came to Kingdom Boot Camp, it wasn't just about trying to bring you to the Lord. Now, of course, that's the ultimate goal because we know that only Christ can change, right? So ultimately, I want you to come to the Lord, and you did do that. You received Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, and that's what we want. And then obviously, that's the goal of ministry. But there's also another goal of mind change. There's also another goal of going 180, which is, of course, when Jesus Christ comes into your life, he's going to change your heart. He's going to change those things. But you also have to change your mind, we talked about, because your body is still, does your body crave those things still?
No. I mean, being here, no.
Praise God. Are you part of the MAT program, which is the medication assisted treatment program, or did your body just naturally?
Anytime that I have detoxed, I've always done it just by myself. I've never used any medication to help me do so.
Now you know that's nothing but God.
Even when first time I ever detoxed when I think I was 15. I had gotten in trouble. Taken up in the cops, and I had to detox. And I just sat in the room and I just went through it.
What does that look like, detoxing for you?
It's terrible. I don't wish it upon anybody.
Is it like it looks in the movies? Because in the movies, it's the shivering, it's the shakes.
Yeah.
It's heroin, so it's...
Yeah, you like, you're hot, you're cold, you can't get comfortable. Your body feels like you have the flu times like 1,000. You don't want to eat. You have no energy. It sucks. And I'll say this time around when I came to jail in January was probably the worst detox I ever went through. And I have no idea why, but it probably because it was God telling me, do not ever do drugs again.
Right. Like, do it again here.
No.
Let me snatch you one good time.
I lost 35 pounds when I first came in January because I wasn't eating. I couldn't do anything.
Does it make you sick to eat? Is that what it is?
Then you just have no appetite to nothing. And that's probably one of the worst detoxes I ever went through.
But aren't you glad that he allowed you to go through that? But you said you believe God allowed you to go through that worst time. Why?
To make me realize that I don't ever want to be going through that again and to change. So
we've talked about in class, there are several reasons why you want to change. What's your main reason for changing? I know you mentioned
my son.
Yeah.
And for myself too. Like I know that, there's better things for me out there. There's things that I want to do with my life that I know I can't accomplish if I'm using drugs.
What do you want to do? What is your vision for life?
I want to go to beauty school.
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you want to specialize in?
Styling hair. I've always been into it since I was younger. One of my sisters, she's a hairstylist, and I've always just been into doing hair.
Okay, can you do mine?
Yeah.
What you gonna do? You can weave it up.
I'll learn.
I'm not mad. So, this is really good. You have come so far. What do you think of it? Well, you just graduated, so that's one of your greatest accomplishments. So have you ever been to rehab?
I have not.
Never been into any rehabs or anything like, have you ever gone to therapy?
I used to, yeah. That was after I had my son. I went through like a really bad depression, and I went to therapy for a little bit, but I stopped going because I just don't think it was like the right person.
Was it postpartum or was it just?
I think so, yeah.
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 So did your heroin usage affect your son?
Probably, yeah.
How was he doing? How old is he now? 7?
He's 9.
He's 9.
He just turned 9 in September.
And how was he doing in school?
When I first came to jail, he was doing really bad, really, really bad. My mom said he was getting in trouble all the time. He was going to the principal's office. He was beating on kids.
Angry.
Very.
You think it was because you were gone?
Yes.
Are you very close to him?
Yes. It's only been me and him.
So did you live just you live with your mom?
Me and my son, we had our own place
Okay.
for the last 4 years, and so it's always it's me and him, and it's always been me and him. His dad has never been around.
His dad's not in the picture at all?
He hasn't been since he was 3 months old.
Oh, okay. Does he know about him?
Yeah.
Okay. Is he paying child support or?
I filed last year in August for like cash aid because I was really struggling. I've never filed for anything ever until then. And then they opened up the case for child support. But I've never asked him for anything. If you want to be there, that's your choice. But he wrote me a letter being here and was like, oh, I want to talk to my son and this and that. I'm like, how convenient, I'm in jail and you want to talk to my son now. That's crazy.
So it's something that if you decide to do that, you'll manage it once you get out.
Yeah, and that's what I told him. I wrote back a letter and I told him, I said, when I get out of jail, that'll be something
you can talk about.
Too. Yeah, because, I'm sure my son wants to know who his dad is.
But he doesn't even know who he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has no idea what you even look like,
Yeah, that's kind of off. Yeah.
So why is he going to want to talk to you? And he doesn't, and you don't even want to see him. You just want to talk to him on the phone. That's.
Oh, is he living?
He's in a program. He's in Teen Challenge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Salinas?
I don't know where
it is anymore. Yeah, it wasn't Watsonville. It moved. So
when he wrote me the letter, it was in Immigrant Gap.
Oh, that is.
It said Immigrant Gap, California.
Immigrant Gap? I've never heard of that. Okay, so he. So I don't know. That's not funny. It's like we've never heard of that city. So wherever Immigrant Gap is,
wherever he may be in California.
So, but you all were in a relationship when you came in?
No, not at all. I hadn't spoken to him in 9 years.
Oh my goodness. So do you have a relationship?
With
anybody?
Of his family?
No.
Oh.
In general?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that person is clean?
He just went to prison.
Now, come on now.
I know.
And how long is he going to be in?
Until July.
Oh, okay. And you all is he clean when he's not incarcerated?
No, he has using problem too.
Okay, so Rachel, so what are we going to do? What's going to be our plan?
I don't know.
Sweetheart?
I know.
So one of the things we talk about in change is purpose prep. Right?
Yeah.
And what is that? Purpose prep is meaning you are preparing for what you currently don't have to prepare for. So you're preparing for change.
Mm-hmm.
You're preparing to make different decisions. You're preparing. And I know the heart flutters. And I know the body aches and all. Trust, I'm a female. I know all those different things.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for you to be clean, you're going to have to make a decision that you're either going to be with a parole violation, a bridge, that means a gap, a bridge between you becoming here and going to your change, or new life. So you have to make a decision between those three. What is it? It's either a parole violation, a bridge, or new life. In those three categories, where does this gentleman fall? Come on now. So if he's a parole violation, we're going to have to make some decisions. And And I know it's hard. And I know that loneliness feels weird. And I know that you want some level of sustainability. Who doesn't want a relationship? But you're a beautiful young lady. You've got your education. You have your son. Do you really want to be with a parole violation?
No.
That's really hard decision.
Yeah. I haven't ever, I would say in the last like 3 weeks, every night, I pray and I ask God to just, guide me through what I need to do and just point me in the direction.
Yeah.
It's hard. It is hard.
It is hard.
Especially with someone that you've known since you were very young and, you've gone through a lot together and
he's like a best friend.
yeah, he's always been there for me no matter what. We watched each other go through multiple relationships,
And when did you start seeing each other?
3 years ago.
Oh, okay. And were you using together?
Yeah, he doesn't use opiates, he uses meth.
Okay, Rachel. Parole violation,
Yeah.
bridge, or new life. So the parole violation, we already got what that is. The bridge is sometimes we're involved with somebody just until we can get our footing. And sometimes we allow ourselves to be involved with an individual just so that they can become better. But what happens when they get on the other side of that bridge is sometimes we realize, yeah, that's not going to work. Or yeah, that's not what I want. Or yeah, that's not what I need. So we really need to connect to somebody or to something or make connections that are going to foster new life, the new life that you have in Christ. Is this man accepted Christ? Oh, he has. Okay.
He actually had his dad send me a book. It's called The Love Dare. And it's actually based on it's a like God-based,
Sure, faith-based.
yeah, a faith-based thing, and it's like a daily thing you read every day, and it's about God and love and how to maneuver through certain things. I talk to his dad sometimes, and his dad was he did a lot of time in prison, and he got out and he went through college and now he does ministry in prison in Texas.
Oh, okay. So his dad is in ministry. His dad. So what does his dad think?
He just wants like the best for him. He wants his son to get out of the system, and it's hard watching him go through them.
Is this his first time being in prison?
Second.
So me as your big sister in the Lord, I'm going to say to you, I know that your heart wants to be with what it wants to be with, but I'm going to tell you that sometimes we have to, I don't know how sometimes, I know it's hard to negate that thing that thing, because it's almost a drug too. Sex can be a drug, you already know. Loneliness can feel like a drug, and abandonment definitely doesn't help. And so you're getting out soon, he gets out in July. Where is he coming? To you. So you're going to have to make a decision. And even if that decision has to be as long as we're using, or as long as you're using, we cannot do this.
Yeah, I've told him that.
There's some
I told him, like, if you don't have, say I am not stable when I get out, and I do not have housing or anything, you're gonna have to go to a halfway house, or you're gonna have to go to a program, because if not, you're going to fuck up. You're going to go back to your ways, and if you can't accept that, then there is no us.
That's right.
Because
that's not only God. Yeah.
It's not only me, but there is my son. And if you love my son, you will do that.
Come on. And let's take it one step further. Whether you have housing or whether you don't,
he should do it anyway.
He needs to do it anyway, because he needs to get clean for himself. And the life in Christ is one level, but the life of freedom from addiction is a whole nother level. And both of you need to understand how to do that before you try to coexist. Exactly. And your son deserves to be with you and only you. And he might not be too comfortable with you bringing somebody else in the picture right now. So when you come out,
I was telling my mom, I said, right now he deserves, the least I can give him right now is just me and him.
That's what he deserves. He deserves that, and he deserves the best part of you that he can have. The clean you, the sage you, the you that's gonna pray for him, the you that he can hear praying over him, the you that's gonna help him, let him know he's safe. Like we talked about, you're safe, the you that shows that you can be released. And we talked about those 5 things of a release, remember? So we talked about unfriending. So you have to unfriend some things and some people and some connections. And then we have to unfollow some things. We have to delete. We also have to block. And then we have to let it go. And I know it's a process. I know it doesn't happen overnight, and it sounds good on paper and it sounds good when we're saying it. But you're right. He deserves you. And you deserve you. And God deserves you first. But you deserve you. Because if you don't put the oxygen on Rachel first, you're not going to be able to be there for your son. One thing I do hear about you is your resolve to not go back out there and smoke heroin or meth. So we've got through heroin and meth. When did fentanyl come? Fentanyl came because of the surgery, right? And that was the pain, managing pain. Okay. So what do you plan on doing for your pain management?
I guess just deal with it like I have been. It's not as bad as it was. Some days when it is bad, I just take ibuprofen or Tylenol, but I think as long as I stay busy, it'll be okay.
Okay. What are you going to do to stay busy?
Go to work, go to school, take care of my son.
Okay. Where do you want to work? What field do you want to work in?
When I was working, I had my home cleaning business. I was cleaning vacation rentals and Airbnbs. And I love it. I love cleaning, doing that because I like seeing all the different houses and I like it.
So when you say your own cleaning business, what does that mean? What do you have?
It was pretty much by word of mouth. I just cleaned for agencies that had their own little Airbnbs and vacation rentals. And anytime they had people check in or out, they just called me and I went.
Okay. So are you in here for a misdemeanor or a felony?
Felony.
Okay. But you'll be off parole for a while.
No, I will not be on any probation.
So when you come out, you're completely free and clean. Okay, so we can hook you up with you can get a job. Okay, so that's gonna be good. Okay. Do you have any fears?
Yeah, I have fears.
What is your greatest fear?
Wanting to use drugs again, going back down that same road.
Okay, so what can we do to dispel that fear? What
resources and the people to go to when you feel like that?
Okay, do you have anything lined up?
Yeah. My god sister, she's involved with the bridge.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. So we used to go to Monday night meetings with her.
Okay.
So I plan on continuing to do that.
Over at Cypress of the church. That's Cypress.
Calvary.
So you're gonna continue to do that. Do you have a church that you go to?
We go to Calvary on Sundays.
That's where you go? Okay. So you have a program, you have a church, you have connection. So you're going to work. Do you have any jobs lined up or anybody that you can work with?
Yeah. I talked to one of my good friends yesterday, and she said that the company that she got hired with is looking for people. So
I might know who that is. Okay. Well, the company. Yeah. Okay. We want to make sure that you have something lined up. Remember we talked about in class anticipation. Anticipation helps to diminish and helps to diminish the distraction of what depression and idleness can do. Right? When you're anticipating something, you're anticipating on working, you're anticipating on being with your son. Are you okay to go back home at least initially? Okay.
I actually wanted to get my own place again.
Right, yeah, I'm sure you would, yeah.
For the time being, I'm gonna go back to my mom's.
And you're comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Is your mom excited?
Yeah. I think she's nervous, but yeah. I haven't really talked about it, but she's nervous.
So the other thing is we talked about unfriending, unfollowing, deleting. Have you deleted the individuals that can bring you heroin, meth, or fentanyl?
Yeah. But I would say it was mainly myself. You know, like
How did you
I
get it?
would bring it myself, and I would go. No one really brought it to me. I would go get it myself. You know.
Okay, so do you know how, so we talked, so you unfriendly, unfollow, delete, now block.
Mhm.
Blocking means that you can't get to it.
Mhm.
Deleting means they can't get to you, but you're telling me, oh, you didn't have to worry about coming to me, I'm gonna go get it.
Mhm.
So blocking means I can't get to it.
Mhm.
So what do we need to do to prevent you from getting to it, since it's not coming to you?
I don't know.
Okay. So we have to determine what we need to do for you not to go to it. Because as sure as I'm sitting here with you,
Mhm.
as sure as you've accepted Christ,
Mhm.
as sure as you have a job lined up, as sure as you have your mindset on trying to take care of your son, knowing what he needs,
Mhm.
as sure as we know exactly what you don't want to get involved with,
Mhm.
I am telling you that the devil is not going to be pleased.
Mhm.
And he is going to come back and he's going to make things so stressful for you that you feel like you're going to have a headache that you've never had before. The pain in your body that you thought was gone is going to come back because he's going to do everything that he can to pull you in the direction that you have been delivered from.
Mhm.
And so we have to come up with a plan for year 180. You're in the turnpike of going 180, but in order for us to get you to 180, we have to determine how you're going to determine not to go back, what your triggers are, what the echoes are, so that whatever, I don't care if you laid up in the hospital in pain, you say, I don't care what that pain is, I'm not going to do that to resolve it. That's where we have to get to. Because if we don't get to that, we're going to be right back here looking at each other. And we don't want to do that. That's misunderstood. We don't want to do that as an appropriate. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that, right? So in order for us not to do that, we need to make sure that that we put something in place to prevent it. What can we do to help? What can anybody do to help? I know we're gonna pray, but what else can we do to help?
I think just having a good support team,
Okay.
that I can be open and honest with about the way I'm feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anybody? Because you'll definitely have us in Kingdom.
My sister.
Your sister?
Yeah.
And she's not using?
No.
Okay.
No. She lives 4 hours away, but I can still call her.
You can call her.
Yeah.
And she's a good support system?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm excited for you. I'm not concerned about your mindset. I'm really proud of your mindset. You recognize and know that God has blessed you and that God has saved your life. And I was talking to Chaplain Bob Langley, and we talked about faith-based programs being a lot more conducive to exoneration from addiction as opposed to NA or AA or Teen Challenge. And we know that those things are good, but faith-based programs seem to work better in terms of the statistical the statistics that show that people that are in faith-based programs tend to stay clean. And so you'll be a part of the bridge on some level. So you'll not be in a faith-based program. You have your god sister, you have your sister, you have your mom, you have your son, you have a church to go to, you have a job to go to. What do you want to do in school?
I'm going to beauty school.
You want to go to beauty school. So you have things lined up. So what I want you to do, because you do have your journal still, is write those things out. Just like we've talked about, write those things out and then put a date on them when you want to have certain things done. Because that way you have anticipation. And when the enemy comes in, and he will, to try to tell you, you don't feel good, you need this, you need that, you go back to that list and you say, yep, you probably are right. I don't feel good, but I have this date. You know, you're probably right, but I have this scheduled time and dates with your son. You know what? You're right. My body is not feeling well, but I'm going to do this. You know what? I probably am feeling a little depressed, but I'm going to do this because I have this lined up. And that's going to help you perpetuate your change. That's going to help you perpetuate your change. But you said you don't have any cravings here. So it's really here that causes you to use. Is that what you believe, or?
Maybe, I don't know. Cause I know I'm very, like mind strong.
Yeah.
So,
So it's a decision.
yeah.
It's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Now remember, the three things. What are they? Parole violation, bridge, or new life.
Mm-hmm.
Those are three choices.
Mm-hmm.
So this gentleman, as nice as he may be and as friendly as he may be, you gotta make a choice,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because everything depends on it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything depends on your change.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could think of your process of going 180, if you could label it of anything, if you could talk about it in any way, what would you describe it as? Your process for going 180?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you had to say, this is Rachel's story. Awesome. I know one thing that seems to be one thing that you did say to me is that you know God did it. You know God saved you. You did not go to rehab. You really didn't go to counseling, but you detoxed.
Mm-hmm.
You detoxed.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines of you were able to do it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's why you kept using it, because you kept feeling like I can do this on my own if I need to?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit. Because
I definitely felt like that. I felt like I would be able to. I feel like I could do anything on my own all the time, and so I'm like,
that's part of the problem. And how's that working for you? I'm just kidding.
No.
No. So you know,
sometimes I
no. So maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Recognizing what?
That I need help.
That you need help, and that's okay. So recognizing that you need help. So I need help because
I can't do it by myself all the time.
See, you had that. See how you love that last little bit in there all the time. Right? That's the problem. So okay. So there's another thing. We talked about this. There's a song by, I think it's McReynolds, his last name is McReynolds, and it says Details. Look this up. The song is called Details. And what it says is that God blows his mind, and it talks about that I need you in every, remember I talked about this in class? I need you in every detail. Right? I need you, God, to be in every detail, even in the things I think I can manage. I need you to be in every detail. I've had to do that. The song really blessed me because there are some things you're like, okay, I can do that by myself. You know, I got this part. God, I just need you on that part. Well, if I had that part, okay. So it's the point of saying, I recognize that I need help. That's hard for you to say. Why?
I don't know. It always has been. It's always been hard for me to ask for it,
Do you think it's because your dad wasn't there? I'm not blaming your dad, but do you think it's because you've always had to be there to help fix and help your mom? Or?
I think it's just the way my mom has raised us, or watching my mom. She never asked for help around, of anything. So that's just the way we knew how to do things. We just did it, because we watched my mom just do it,
You do realize it's okay to need help.
Yeah.
You do realize that, right? Okay. Yeah. So maybe your theme is, I recognize that I
need help.
Okay. And I like that you didn't give me those things. So you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so if somebody asked you, Rachel, how do I stop using drugs? What would you tell them?
accept that you need help, and you have to want it for yourself and nobody else.
Mhm.
You have to want the change within yourself. You have to really want it, because if not, it's not going to change.
So maybe that's the thing. You have to want the change.
Mm-hmm.
Have to want it. How bad do you want it?
Bad. I wanted it bad, but not bad enough to where I needed to change. Clearly,
How bad do you want it now?
really bad. To where I'm never going to be out there. I was telling my friend, I was like, I don't even want to jaywalk across the street.
You know what? Hey, if that's what's gonna do it, you know what? Where's that light? Let me push it. Does it say walking? No,
I was gonna be honking at you like driving the all the way.
Well,
Speed.
so you don't stress about money, do you?
No.
Okay, good. So those aren't issues that cause you to go, oh my God, I'm never.
No.
So you're good. Okay. So is there anything that we can do, and we can pray before we leave? Is there anything that you want me to pray for specifically?
Just for when I go home, just to for God to just keep pointing me in the right direction and showing me, what I need to do and being strong.
Okay. God, I just want to thank you for Rachel. God, this is nothing but a miracle. The hand that I'm holding is a miracle. The fact that you have brought her through different surgeries, different ailments, that you've still given her a life and a mindset to persevere. In every adversarial thing that she's ever faced, she's always been able to persevere. But even on today, God, she's asking you now to help her. Holy Spirit, we need you to fill her and endow her and to baptize her with you so that she can live out the confession that she's made to accept you as her Lord and her Savior. And God, she needs you in every detail concerning her job, every detail concerning her son, every detail concerning her relationships at home. We thank you that you're able to do that. You're going to lead, guide, and direct her. You're going to protect her. You're going to keep the enemy at bay. And we give you all of the glory and all of the praise in your name, because it is matchless and it is sovereign. Jesus, amen. I'm so proud of you. Thank you. So what do you think? You excited?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to, this is going to be one of these episodes, and I'll make sure that you have something to sign. I'll make sure that you can see a glimpse of it. Make sure that I give my information to Rita so that when you leave, you can, and you have to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then you'll see Debbie and Rachel and Debbie, right?
Yeah.
For substance abuse treatment and mental health referrals, contact the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's National Helpline at 1-800-662-4357.